What is going on? Welcome to No Chill Promos. How y'all doing? Hope you're having a blessed Saturday, a blessed weekend if you're watching this. Before I get into this review for TNA's Emergence, I just want to do a quick shout out to all subscribers to the channel and to the followers on Rumble. I'm now at 119 subs. So thank you. Thank you to the newest subscriber. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I truly do. Thank you. So slowly but surely that number's going to keep on going up as I keep on saying. So let's get into this show. Try to knock this out, make this quick as possible. Alright, we start off with Kushida, Mr. Time Splitter himself, going up against Killer Kaz, or as he likes to be referred as, King Kaz. As he's it's hilarious when he does this shit, because he always picks on Jade, who's the current TNA announcer, who is also married to Perk Alexander. But he stops and he was like, "You're gonna say my name, you're gonna say it right. Let these people know." And Jade, you see the look on her face like, this guy, like this dude, man. But she was like, Kazarian would like for all of you people to know that he is the king of TNA. And you see Kaz like, yeah. And Kushida's like, I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. Fuck out of here. King of TNA. More like king of jobbers. But I'm just bullshitting. But the match itself was okay, short match. The finishing sequence was Kazarian hitting the middle rope onto Kushida's nuts. And if you've ever been hit in the nuts before, it's one of the most excruciating pains you will ever experience. But King Kaz follows that up with the Fade to Black, which is the Deadeye move that Adam Hangman Page does for the 1, 2, 3. Now I'm thinking, I'm watching this match, I'm like, why isn't Kushida in the fucking 6-way for the X Division title? Like, I don't want to see Kushida continuing to job like here and there, or like he wins a match, then he jobs like the next 5. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. I want to see more from Kushida. All right, but I am a fan of King Kaz's current gimmick, like how he was mocking Kushida during the match and how he's just so full of himself. All right, hilarious, entertaining stuff from King Kaz. All right, but he gets to win here. We move on. We see First Class being interviewed by Gia backstage. Mr. AJ Not Styles says big ups to Rich Homie Swan, who's not here. He then mentions how he's a successful football player, unlike some people. Which I'm like, was he taking a subliminal shot towards Moose? What do you mean by that? That's Drewski likes to say. Alright. But he then brings in Casey Navarro, who is now the newest member of First Class. And how they're going to challenge ABC for the tag team titles tonight. Alright. Next we move on to PCO being challenged by Matt Cardona's mystery opponent. Alright, and that opponent, come to find out, is Mahabali Shera. And I'm like, yo, where has this dude been? Like, he shows up for like 2 weeks and then you don't see him for like 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, where's this dude at, man? Like, you know what I want to see? I want to see a stable of Shera, my nigga Veer Mahan, and Jinder Mahal. Run that shit. That's what I want to see. But Shera's still looking jacked as always. He's the mystery opponent that Matt Cardona has summoned to face PCO. PCO comes out with a beautiful Step to Lander, and obviously PCO is going to win here. And this was almost a squash match because PCO hits the I think he calls it the de-animator or reanimator. I don't know. But it's that diving senton he does. But he hits it on Shera, who's like laid out on a ring apron. So he hits it and he just falls off like onto the outside. Man, this dude's fucking nuts. And to win the match, he hits the that moonsault that he does off the top rope for the 1, 2, 3. And watch, we won't see this man Shera in TNA for like another good 2 years. So big ups to PCO and Seth the Lander. Alright, but we move on to the Ultimate X match. First person is Zachary Wentz, who is one half of the Rascals. Second is Jason Hotch, who is one half of the Good Hands. And I'm used to seeing Skyler because he's the one always going out there cutting promos. But clearly Jason is the worker out of that tag team, because I'll say right now, he pressed me the most in this match. This is my first time like really watching him. He's like, kind of reminds me of Jay White, but like kind of like a more athletic version. You know, not as tall, but more athletic. If that makes sense. Next we see Laredo Kid, who I feel is underrated, and Tom mentioned, because there was a scar that I haven't seen before on Laredo, but he was saying how he was like having like a life-threatening emergency down in Mexico, so he had that scar to save his life, and I could relate to that. Like literally, I had the same shit happen to me like a few years ago. So hey, I'm glad Laredo Kid is alright, and it must have happened recently because I don't remember seeing that scar on him. So I'm glad he's still here with us, you know what I mean? But next is Mr. Riley Osborne, aka Evan Bourne 2.0. Alright, from Chase U, the Chase U representative. Next, we get your boy Hammer, Alexander Hammerstone. Alright, and last but not least is the champion himself, Speedball Mike Bailey. This match has some crazy ass spots. I'm not going to break down everything that happened. You know, I would highly recommend you watch the match itself. Alright, but there's like one point where Zachary and Speedball were trying to climb up to go take down the title. But Zachary kicks off Speedball and he flips and does like a moonsault onto the guys out onto the floor. That was a sick spot. Another spot was Alexander, because all the guys are trying to climb up, but all of them fell because Alexander pretty much knocked off most of the guys. But he was so close to reaching the X Division title, but he falls, and that is a big ass dude. Alright, like I don't know how, like Tom said that he's like 270. I mean, he might be. I don't know if he's exactly 270. I'll more venture to say maybe like 250 at best, but I don't know. But yeah, that's a big dude to be climbing up there and trying to reach the title. But another spot it might be my favorite, honestly, because Riley Osborne was trying to climb up to get the title himself. Laredo Kid swings him, right? But Osborne uses that momentum to do like a mid-air shooting star press onto the guys in the ring. That was sick. Like, that was a sick spot. But the finishing sequence was Speedball and Zachary once again fighting. These guys were hanging up like right by the title. You know, they're going at it, but Zachary knocks off Speedball and he wins the X Division Championship. So the new X Division champion, Zachary Wentz. Right? Trey Miguel runs out, you know, gives him a big ass hug. You know, it's a feel good moment. And I wasn't expecting Zachary to win, but I'm not mad. I ain't mad at it, especially with the feud that he has going on with Wesley. So it's a logical choice, right? Because you look at the main six, like you see Jason, he ain't gonna win. Rado, he won it before. They're not gonna give it to him right now. All right, Osborne, not gonna happen. So, Hammerstone, probably not. Alright, so the two logical choices is Speedball or Zachary. I went with Speedball because I didn't think he was going to lose it that soon, especially after beating Mustafa Ali, who apparently is now done with TNA. Like, I'm like, really? I mean, like, as soon as he drops the title, that he's out? Like, come on, man, that's fucking bogus. The fuck is that? You know what I mean? But, yeah, big ups to Zachary Wentz here. I don't know if this is his first X Division title win. If so, hey, that's awesome. So I'm happy for him. So moving on, we see Perk Alexander cutting a promo backstage. And he's saying how you might as well call me the Iron Man of TNA. This is the Josh Alexander match. Alright, I was in the first ever TNA Iron Man match. A match that I won. Right, I'm the flag bearer, I'm the standard, I'm the face of TNA. He enters my world, and I'm gonna show that sports entertainer what a real professional wrestler looks like. Next, we get a first time ever match between Steve Maclin and one of the TNA OGs, Eric Young. Alright, which was surprising. I forgot to mention this during my review on TNA. And it's like, now that I think about it, like, this is actually the first time these two have faced off, which is crazy, because Macklin's been there for a hot minute, and we already know about Eric Young. I mean, fucking over 2 decades doing this shit, right? So, the match itself was good. It was a good back and forth match, alright? It's like a good example of 50-50. He's showing like both these guys are veterans, both these guys are pretty much evenly matched for the most part. And Maclin, I would say, is underrated. Alright, he's a guy you could, well, first of all, big ups to him being a veteran. Alright, I'm a veteran myself, so big ups to that. Alright, but he can talk on the mic, he's good in the ring, and he has a good build. So these two were pretty much going at it back and forth for a majority of the match. I always like the spot where I seen him recently do this. EY, he does like the stalling Death Valley driver. I love the way he does it, man, because it's different, it's unique. Alright, I always like EY's moveset as it is. He has an underrated pile driver. Alright, underrated diving top rope elbow drop. He's another one that's underrated, in my opinion. But the finishing sequence to this match was, the EY hitting that pile driver on Maclin. Maclin kicks out at 2, or like 2.999. EY tries to set him up for another pile driver, but Maclin counters it with a bridging pin for the 1-2-3. So your winner is Steve Maclin. And I'm pretty sure they're going to run this back just based off the look of EY's face. He was just like, ain't no way. Like, come on, man. I'm like, bullshit. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is not the last we're going to see of Maclin versus EY. Next, we see a backstage promo from the one man, the current TNA World Champion, Nick Nemeth. Basically, all he said was like, this is now the time of the one man. And he ain't losing this title here tonight. He's going to show Josh Alexander just how good the sports entertainer is. Like, he's not the champion. He used to be the champion, but now I'm the champion. And I'm not losing this belt no time soon. Alright, that's basically it. So, moving on, we get the tag team match. Jordan Grace and Spitfire going up against Mother Russia, Masha Slamovic, Alicia Edwards, and Ash by Elegance. Alright, now this match was interesting. Alright, because early on, like they're fighting, just like 2 minutes into the match, mind you. Alright, but like they're fighting, it was like Jody does like a tope con hilo first, then Danny Luna does like a suicide dive, and before, I don't know what Jordan Grace was going to do, but they pan out to the outside, and you see Alicia Edwards like not moving, like she's just like unconscious almost. Like, I look back, like I wanted to check. I don't think this was planned. Hey, I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. But like I'm looking, so I'm like, when Jody did the tope con hilo, it was Ash and Masha that took the brunt of the impact, but Alicia like fell down as well, but she never got back up. So that's, I don't know, man. That's, I hope it's kayfabe, but if it's not, I pray that she's okay. Like, honestly, because I don't believe she was gonna fight the rest of the show because she didn't come out with the system later on. So I hope she's okay, like legit, man. Praying for Alicia Edwards, like if that shit was legit, which I hope it wasn't. I hope it's just like kayfabe. But as far as the rest of the match, now the heels are down a member, which is like usually the opposite of what you want in a tag match. So the baby faces have the advantage. Basically Jody hits like the F5, or I think Tom called it like the pop shove it or some shit like that, but it's an F5. She hits the F5 on Ash by Elegance. She jobs yet again, and you got Grace and Spitfire again to win. as I predicted. All right, so yeah, Ash ain't winning. I mean, she's not. I don't see her winning that TNA Knockouts Championship, man, at this point. So it is what it is. But again, I hope Alicia Edwards is okay. Like, I need to try to see and follow up and make sure that, you know, she's doing all right. So maybe there's some type of status update now on her condition. All right, but moving on, we get another tag team match. You got ABC, the champions, defending their titles against First Class. All right, it was a decent little match. I mean, I was more impressed by KC, who I've seen before. You know, he was one that did most of the shit in this match for First Class. And yeah, the crowd saying they're roasting AJ, saying like, you can't wrestle, which I'm not gonna say that. All right, I think AJ knows he's limited to what he can do, but I've seen worse. Like, I've seen some trash ass wrestlers. All right, he's not terrible. All right, the one thing he can't do is do fucking tope con hilo. That's for damn sure. This man doesn't even do any type of springboard or diving moves ever again. like ever. So people will never let that down, man. That's one of the biggest botches in wrestling history. I joke because I said like that botch, because this was when Vince McMahon was like gone from the company, or so it seemed. But he seen that botch, he was like, oh damn it, what the hell is that? What the hell is Hunter doing? Like, that was the botch that resurrected Vinnie Mac from retirement, 100%. All right, but the ending sequence of this match was got AJ hitting the down payment chokeslam on the Chris Bay. He tags in KC, but the ref doesn't see it, I believe. The KC goes in to finish off Chris Bay, but Chris Bay counters with the roll-up pin for the 1-2-3. ABC retains their title. All right, and you got KC looking like, he's like, come on. he's a third person, I believe, on the show. He's like, ain't no way, man. Damn it. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. So, hey, it is what it is, man. ABC still champions with their shitty, garbage, generic-ass theme song. ABC, ABC, ABC. Any of these theme songs that have fucking syllables in their fucking songs, garbage. And so this ABC, like fucking SCU, STP, DMD, CEO, all of them garbage. All right, I can't stand it. But moving on, we get the co-main event. All right, with my nigga Mike Santana coming out first, and then we see a surprise little collab entrance of I Believe in Joe Hendry, dun dun, and the Hardys. So now it's I Believe in Joe Hardy, dun dun. This was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, man. They had the whole Titantron and everything. I was like, this was crazy to see, but they come out. And then we see the System come out. And I gotta say, like, this match felt like it took forever to end. Like, hot damn. Like, this match felt like it was an hour. And a main event that was an hour didn't feel like it was an hour. So just completely ass backwards, you know what I mean? But, like, these guys, everyone gets their shit in at some point. They hit their signatures and finishers on each other. But the finishing sequence was Eddie Edwards. He hits the low blow onto broken Matt Hardy, followed by the Boston Knee party that he does, which is like the Shining Wizard, for the 1-2-3. So the System gets the win. And I guess it's my fault for not trusting in the System. Alright, because after the match, you see Moose cutting a promo saying that it doesn't matter if it's Nick Nemeth or Josh Alexander, whoever wins, I'm coming after you to get back what's rightfully mine. Alright, so there you go. There's your number one contender for whoever wins the TNA World Championship tonight. Alright, and speaking of which, let's get into the main event.
Well, it looks like the fight's already started. It's time for the main event!
And that's an Iron Man match in 1 hour for the TNA World Championship. With the challenger Perk Alexander, the walkie weapon of TNA, going up against the current champion, the wanted man, Nick Nemeth. Alright, and I've got to mention this earlier, but Perk Alexander, when he was cutting his promo, he was like, "You're in my world, I got your ass for an hour." It just reminded me of Spider-Man, that movie where, rest in peace to, oh yeah, Macho Man, he was in there. But he was like, this was when he was a Bonesaw McGraw. He was like, "Bonesaw's ready. I got your ass for 3 minutes, yeah." That's what it reminded me of the promo earlier. So, like, Alexander, he's coming into his match as the Iron Man specialist. He's like, "I got your ass for an hour, yeah." But nah, this match was excellent, honestly. And like, I get, again, like, credit to both these guys, alright, for going out there and literally wrestling for an hour. And the way this match was constructed was fantastic. Made sense. Now, I'm obviously not going to go through everything that happened in this hour-long match, but I'm going to try to mention most of the noteworthy things that happened in the match. Right, the first fall, like, was the first like 15 to 20 minutes was just good old-fashioned technical wrestling, it's mat-based chain wrestling. Love to see it. All right, but you had Alexander, who was targeting that left ankle of Nick Nemeth the entire fucking night. I mean, he was holding in on that son of a bitch. All right, but like, he's trying to go for the ankle lock, but Nick counters it into like a kind of like a roll-up pin for the 1, 2, 3. So the first pinfall goes to Nick. All right, the second pinfall happens like, I believe, like 10 minutes later. By it was like Josh trying to go for like a, I don't know, it was like a shoulder breaker he was trying to do, but Nick counters that into the danger zone, aka the zigzag, for the 1, 2, 3. So now Nick's up, 2-0 against Perk Alexander. All right, so now we're like halfway into the match. All right, and this is where got Brock Lesnar. He does a Suplex City. All right. But here, Perk Alexander takes this man to Suplex Country. Alright, he hits 10 consecutive German suplexes onto Nick Nemeth. Hey, but don't you worry, Nick has his receipt in hand. Alright, and he gives Perk Alexander his own taste of Suplex Country by giving him 10 consecutive German suplexes in a row. And this is like halfway into the match, mind you, and they're doing this shit. Yeah, absolutely nuts. Okay? Alright. But later on to the match, Josh ends up becoming frustrated because he's trying to tap this dude out, but Nick refuses to tap out. So he's like, "Alright, fuck it, I'm gonna cheat," right? So he goes, grabs a chair, the ref takes the chair, he ends up pulling out like this piece of metal from like his knee brace. Like, I don't know what kind of, I don't know if it's like part of a brass knucks or just a random ass piece of metal he found. I don't know. But he uses it to go right upside Nick's head, follows it up with the C4 spike for the 1, 2, 3. Alright, so now it's 2-1. Then Perk Alexander hits another C4 spike onto Nick for the 1, 2, 3. So now we're tied 2-2. Alright. Like, both these guys are exhausted because this is like 45 minutes into the match. Alright, you got Nick Nemeth trying to lock in the sleeper hold onto Perk Alexander. Perk ends up climbing up the turnbuckle, and they both fall out into the outside. Great visual. That's a good spot. I appreciate that. Alright. And earlier, as I mentioned before, when Perk Alexander used that piece of metal to go upside Nick's head, there was a ref bump to where like Alexander just clotheslines Nick into the referee, and the referee sells it like like his intestines were about to explode. Some shit, like he was down for a minute, right? But in that time, Perk Alexander sets up a table for this next spot, to where they get back to the ring, right? Josh is trying to hit the another C4 spike onto Nick Nemeth, but Nick counters it, flips him over, and then we see Perk Alexander land on the table, right? Completely breaks the table, and he's down. All right. because like a couple minutes earlier, Perk Alexander hit like a torch rack bomb onto Nick Nemeth on the outside because he's trying to get a count out win for another point, but Nick comes back at 9. And so here you had that table bump, and the ref was out, so he didn't know who exactly set up the tables. Therefore, he can't, disqualify either person, as Tom explained it, which makes sense. All right, but Perk Alexander gets back before the 10 count, so we're still tied, 2-2. All right, they go back at it again. There's at one point, Perk Alexander does the danger zone himself, which kind of looks shitty. I'm not gonna lie, but he gets a 2 count, a 2.999 from that. All right. There's at that point, Nick counters with a super kick. All right, and to end the match, Nick hits one more danger zone and follows it up with a C4 spike of his own onto Perk Alexander for the 1-2-3. So, and this was like the last 20 seconds of the match. So Nick was up 3-2. Josh Alexander couldn't get back up. So the winner and still the TNA World Champion, Nick Nemeth. All right. And before he can celebrate, we see the arrival of Mr. John Bradshaw Layfield. And recently, I've seen reports that he was at a GCW show with Matt Cardona for some reason. I don't know why. And apparently now he's here in TNA. And he whispered something to Nick Nemeth. He probably said, I'm coming for that title next, boy. I ain't too old to give you a Texas-sized ass whooping or some shit. I don't fucking know, man. Nick nods his head. We see JBL give a little smirk. So teasing something. I don't know what they got cooking up. But we see Nick Nemeth holding up the title to close out the show. And that's Emergence. Alright, that's it. So overall, I'll probably get this show fuck it, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, the only matches I didn't really care for were the tag team matches, were the System versus Mike Santana and Joe Hendry and the Hardys, because that shit went on for way too fucking long. And the women's tag match, Jordan Grace and Spitfire versus Monster Slamovic, Alicia Edwards, and Ash by Elegance. Especially with that Alicia Edwards scare, because I'm pretty sure the match was not supposed to go down the way that it did. So they had to call an audible. So I hope she's okay. I truly do. So yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. Still good pay-per-view overall. Still, there are no bad matches as a whole. So yeah, and the Iron Man match delivered. That was a solid main event. All right, so that could possibly be a match of the year contender, honestly. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about this shit. So if you watched TNA Emergence, let me know how you felt. All right, what was your favorite match, your favorite moment, all that good stuff. All right, love it, hate it, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's all the same to me. I just want to see the engagement and the feedback from you guys. All right, that's why I do these videos. Next, I'm gonna do the review for New Japan's Capital Collision. All right, then I gotta do. I'll try to do predictions for No Mercy. If not, then I'll just do a post in the community tab. Fuck it, you know what I mean? But yeah, wasting enough for you guys' time. So that said, be safe, be blessed, take care of yourself, trust in God. I'm out of here. I can't say I'm out this bitch after I say trust in God. I mean, kind of hypocritical, don't you think? Oh yeah, I'm out of here. All right, till next time, adios.